Building a business has the exact same psychological shape as fighting nicotine addiction. Weird parallel, but hear me out. I've done both. I was 15 when I took up smoking. I was 29 when I quit. 4 years later, every single day, the same mental shifts that got me through nicotine withdrawal are what keep the business from eating me alive. Here they are. Number 1, willpower is a band-aid fix. I grew up believing that pushing through the pain was the route to success. Motivation, self-control, depriving yourself of what you want to quit. That was the formula. And I'm who I am today because of it. But from where I stand now, I see where it falls apart. The thing is, willpower is a finite resource. It runs out. And when it does, you are back to square one. Because the smokers that quit permanently, they are not the ones with the strongest self-control. They are the ones who stopped wanting to smoke. Period. And the book's reframe was simple. You think cigarettes help you cope with stress, but they're actually depressants dragging your energy down in the background. The moment you genuinely believe that, you stop needing willpower. You just stop. Business works the same way. Founders, CEOs, business owners, they burn out for the same reason smokers relapse. They push through the pain, force themselves to show up, hustle, grind, treating discipline like a muscle they need to flex harder. That way of thinking is flawed. The ones who last aren't the ones with the most grit. They're the ones who stop believing that hustle leads to lasting progress. They build because they genuinely want the life on the other side, instead of just powering through another 13-hour day. Now think about this. We cling to toxic business habits because we think they're helping us. The 24/7 founder, the always-on mentality, chasing algorithmic ghosts. We tell ourselves this is the price of success. They're not. They're depressants, dragging us down in the background the same way nicotine does. Same lie, different package. Number 2, nobody's gonna take the cigarette out of your mouth. Nobody's going to save you. There's a moment in every quitting journey when you realize no one's gonna take the damn cigarette out of your mouth. No one's coming. You have to save yourself. I hit that moment in 2022. I made a vow, lit my last cigarette, and meant it. When you leave the 9 to 5 to start your own thing, you hit the exact same void. No boss patting you on the back, performance reviews are gone, no monthly salary regardless of whether you showed up as your best self or a soulless version you don't recognize. And then the question hits, how much do you really want it? This is the paradox of freedom. The deafening quiet, the phantom boss. We crave autonomy, we dream of it, but when it arrives, it's heavier than we want it to be. Too much freedom paralyzes you. But what are you gonna do? The truth is, you're on your own, kid.
You're on your own, kid. Yeah, you can face this. You're on your own, kid. Always happen.
Nobody warns you that freedom feels like a weight pressing on your chest at 3 a.m. But listen to me when I say this, stay there. And recognize that the silence is also the first time you can finally genuinely hear your own voice. See, in both worlds, the addiction and the business, the same door opens. On the one hand, there's terror. On the other hand, there's agency. Nobody's coming to save you isn't necessarily tragic. It's the prerequisite for building the life you truly want to live and doing the work you truly want to do. Number 3, your brain runs on an infinite excuse loop. Your brain spits out excuses faster than your logic can catch up. I was the master of excuses. I used my intelligence to rationalize staying stuck in a dark hole, smoking my anxieties away, drowning in alcohol for temporary bliss. Why? Because I was smart enough to defend my own destruction. I could talk myself out of anything and believe I was always right. And the moment you think you're always right is the moment you derail your own growth. Now, hold on to this next part and really think about it. If I'm smart enough to justify staying stuck, then I'm smart enough to architect my way out. You can't change your brain, but you can use it differently. We love doing this in business too. When things get hard, you rationalize why it was doomed to fail from the start. You come up with reasons to give up. You panic hunt for jobs and justify doing it as just doing something for the money. You shrink the vision to something that feels reachable, safer. You tell yourself, I'll just do this one small thing first before you truly commit to going all in. Because it's easier. It's way simpler than admitting that when you dive in, it's actually not fun. At least not all the time. You have to learn how to ride the ebbs and flows. One day you're signing a 6K project, the next you're facing rejections left and right. Things are messy and hard and it will drive you insane. That is why it's not for everyone. But if you can stay, if you can catch the mental gymnastics midway and put in the work to redirect them, you're already ahead of everyone else. You will make it. So remember that the same brain that comes up with excuses and reasons to give up is the same brain that can come up with more reasons to stay for the long haul. Study what it's already doing, then point it towards facing what's scary instead of running away. Number 4, stop feeding the addiction. You're feeding the addiction and you're too stubborn to admit it. You let it take control, you keep coming back for more, keep smoking to relieve the stress, keep drinking to feel better. The more you believe it's helping, the tighter you cling. Hustle culture is no different, and you're feeding it the same way. You trade more hours, give more output, produce more content. There's always more to do, and it never tells you to stop, so you keep going. Because it makes you feel guilty when you dare slow down. After all, why drop the addiction if you need it that much? Do you see the pattern? Both of these feed on your desperation. You're desperate to feel better, so you cling to the short-term satisfaction that cigarettes and alcohol give. You're desperate to succeed, so you cling to hustling to feel productive. This is counterintuitive, but if you want to be free from both, step away. Stop feeding the addiction. At first, it will feel like you're falling behind, but it's actually the secret to staying in the game. This month, Lana and I hit a wall. We were both physically and mentally exhausted. The emotional toll of the content creation loop caught up. And when this happened, the 9 to 5 script, the addiction script, was at its loudest. It demanded we push through, numb the pain with more work, because success doesn't fall from the sky while you rest. But guess what we did? We did the most irresponsible thing. We stepped away from creating more content. And it was the best decision we made this season. Every cigarette you don't smoke is another bright day for your future self. Waking up without a trace of depressant in your blood. Every day you choose to rest is the same deposit to the future life you're building. We chose to feed our desperation to rest over the desperation to succeed fast. We chose to take our time. We chose our bedrock. Finally, the point is to live. I don't graduate from being an ex-smoker. I won't ever be labeled as a non-smoker because that was already the choice I made every day for 15 years. It was a huge part of my identity. But for the past 4 years, I've been getting out of bed, deciding not to have a cigarette with my coffee. Some days I remember how I used to start my day with nicotine. Other days I forget that I even lived that way. You know, the memories come back, the temptation resurfaces, but each day I choose to be the ex-smoker. It's not a battle I fight anymore. It's just a choice I make daily. And it's the same in business. You don't arrive as a founder, a CEO, a business owner. It's a choice you keep choosing every day. Reaching out to prospects who can ignore you, writing content people might not read, filming videos that may not please the algorithm, dreaming up ideas that might never see the light of day. You battle with uncertainty, you remember the stability of your 9 to 5. But I own being a leader day in and day out because I was always meant to leave the comforts of the classroom. I was meant to embrace this chaos of starting from scratch with nothing but raw belief that it might inspire someone to do the same. Both of these identities are maintained through daily recommitment, and there is no finish line. People look at building a business with a deadline. In 5 years, this will be successful and I will be rich. Then they burn themselves out to reach that arbitrary goal. But that's not the point. There's no finish line. Endurance is a shallow goal. Making peace with the fact that there is no end, that's the secret. The whole point is to live. 4 years ago, in my Japanese apartment, I lit my last cigarette. 4 years later, in my tiny apartment back home, I launched Yoso Studio. One of them is an addiction I cannot recover from, and I will feed it to my last breath. Thanks for being here and stay soulful.